Juwan next to Don.
Sent my STEEZ. You know what's going on, yes, Lord.
At then bringing you round 19 of footy. Late in the season, damn near the end of the season. Shit, what you gotta take away around 19, bro?
My takeaway, for some reason, I don't know why, it's something that particularly stood out to me, but this week was, it seemed like the commentary, or maybe, I think maybe my own personal feelings are included as well, but the push in the back, it seems like the commentators are getting a little irritated, just fans in general kind of getting irritated. People just get away with it too much, and when they do call it, it's really some bullshit, in my opinion. Pushing the back was some bullshit. Week 19, I remember that this season is. The pushing the back, we'll talk about the player in particular that I feel like got away with that bullshit. But anyways, what's yours?
For me this week, it's like some teams, I don't want to say some teams gave up, but for a lot of teams, this round was important, and a lot of teams just got knocked out of their finals chances. And bro, this season, I really don't know what to say about it, bro. It's just, it's go hard or go home time, and some teams went home this week. I'll say it like that. Yeah. But shit, also at the end of this episode, these episodes, bro.
Episode installation, whatever you want to call it.
But at the end of this, we're gonna be going over who we think is going to the grand finals, winning it: Brownlow, Coleman, and Norman Smith. So stay tuned for that. We're getting into the games. First game we had Port versus Collingwood.
This was Travis Boak's 300 game, so congrats to Travis Boak. It wasn't fortunate because even his mom didn't get admitted into the game, bro. He didn't get to play it at home in front of the fan faithful, which Rewalk had to deal with the other week too. So this kind of been unfortunate, bro.
Was there fans in this game at all?
I don't think so. But yeah, his mom didn't even get, because she was supposed to be watching from like the press box or something, didn't even get admitted into that, bro. So congrats to him. They did get a win today, well, on the day of. So congrats to him. At least he can go ahead and go away with the win on his 300 game. But Collingwood I don't know, man. Collingwood looking like North a little bit, like where they counted them out and they started looking good, bro. But Collingwood played pretty strong. Their ball movement looked decent in the beginning. I think a lot of it somewhat turned around when Pendlebury got hurt. You know, that's their best ball user. He got hurt. And for a second, they faltered a little bit. But they didn't let that rattle them, so I'm kind of proud of them for that. Fuck Collingwood still, though. Mason Cox came in and made an impact. He definitely made his presence on the forward line. But I think as the game went on, Port dominated the most of the second quarter. They stepped up on their defense. They weren't looking too promising early on. But Connor Rosie, a player yet again who's making his presence felt. He's a player that really can pull Port whenever they're looking like their average self, and we all know they have that tendency to do that. Connor Rosie is one of the most important players on Port, and I used to talk so much shit about, bro. Like, what's up with these players that I'm talking shit about, and they start turning up, bro.
I gotta prove you wrong, bro.
They must watch our channel, bro. But yeah, Collingwood, they couldn't quite get in the game. Port got more comfortable as the game went on. But Collingwood, David T. Jr. I almost said Jeff T. David T. Jr. turned up a little bit. Milechek turned up. And Mason Cox. So they had a couple players that did their thing, but they're still a bottom side, and they couldn't get it done against Port. Port held on strong, and they did their job.
Yeah, it is honestly a better game than I expected. What this game does for me is make me lose faith a little bit in Port, bro. It's like all these low-tier teams you're having good games against. You haven't beat a top-tier team yet this season. So, yeah, you doing enough. Y'all are doing enough to get a good spot in the finals, but after that, I don't know. I really don't know about y'all boys. Don't want to pass over bruh's double dummy.
Oh, yeah. And
his double dummy kick. I want to find something more cooler. double dummy Dutcher.
We have to think about that one.
What was bro name? I don't even
Carl
know.
Amons.
Carl Amons. Yeah, that was one of the nicest just finesse plays that I've seen. I really enjoyed that. That made it in the top 5 video, so y'all be on the lookout for that if y'all haven't watched it already.
For sure.
Next game we got Carlton versus North.
Where do we even begin with this game, bro? All right.
So this game pretty much knocked y'all out of any chance of making the finals.
It did.
Probably even more demoralizing being against the number 18 team right now. North just came out and won anymore. They've been looking better every week. North isn't a bad team. North has definitely earned some respect these past few weeks, past few rounds from me. At the beginning of the year, shit, you go back and watch the videos, I was for sure North was going to lose every game this year, but these last few rounds they've been turning around, and I wouldn't put them in the bottom 3. If the season started right now, they wouldn't be in the bottom 8, and if I had to guess.
Not if we're going off current form now.
Go ahead.
So this, bro, I mentally blocked this game out of my head so much. So this is the game we didn't have Harry, right? We put that together. Okay, all right. Almost thought that was last week. All right, boom. They let us know Harry coming out. He ain't playing today. Boom. I'm like, all right, fuck, we screwed. That's the only 4 we got. We have the tendency to rely on the long ball, right? So I wasn't feeling too good about that. First off, I wanted to see the Makai battle #1, but of course that didn't have to happen. So they must be the same player, different feats. You know what I'm saying? Different teams. Also didn't have Liam Jones was out, right? Yeah, Liam Jones. No, that was last game. Yeah, bro. So North made it look so easy to make, like, bro. The first, okay. Oh, I see. Look, I'm so fucking stuck because it's baffling how this team here that everybody makes fun of fucked us up, bro. And we're the team that gave up 100 points 8 times this year, bro. We're the only team to have done that, bro. So I'm not quite surprised, bro. I even said North is straight, bro. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we lost without Harry, bro. We don't have Colonel. We had no tall forwards, bro. We didn't have any except Tom DeConey, bro. And he's our ruck, bro. So that's all we had. So knowing how our offense can be so one-dimensional at times, bro, there was really, realistically, no chance, bro. But I didn't think North would travel on us so easy, bro. And they did how Collingwood did last week, how Geelong did a couple weeks ago, bro. And so it's just showing that Carlton is not addressing their issues, bro. And now that they're going under the review, you did this under a review, bro. You did this under a review for the whole department, the whole footy club.
Yeah.
And you do this. You see what I'm saying? So there's obviously, it's inexplicable, bro. It's unexplainable. It doesn't make sense. But, okay, let me not gloss over this. It was Ed Colonel's 200th game, was it? 200th game, I believe. And he had a nice goal and all that shit. But it was like nobody even wanted to play, bro. The work rate was ass, bro. The work rate was terrible, bro. It's like a lot of people looked lost. We even had numbers in the D50 at times where we outnumbered them. And we still didn't get to the contest, bro. So it just shows that it's effort. There's no excuse if we have the numbers and we're still not getting the footy, bro. It's either you don't know how to play the game, which you're a professional, so you do, or you just don't want to try, bro. And that's where we're at, bro. And it's been a consistent theme throughout the whole season. So not surprising. This was the worst loss of the season. I believed in a finals push, so I would have thought the team would have believed, but with the performance that they showed, they didn't believe, bro. They never really believed in finals, bro. So it's disappointing, bro, but shit happens, bro. Y'all ass. I'm not too hurt by this, bro. This is the numbing loss, bro.
Next game we got Brisbane versus Gold Coast.
The Q clash.
The Q clash indeed. When we was watching this, I didn't even think about this being both Brisbane teams. But this thing was actually funny. Watching it.
It's so funny.
Watching the Suns decline, bro. because they started off at like the top of the hill, bro. They was playing great ball movement. They was just outrunning Brisbane. That first quarter was just great from Gold Coast all the way around, and then each quarter they just started dropping more and more. Where the fourth quarter, them boys really weren't even playing. Brisbane, fourth quarter, they gave us so much. Brisbane was mad that they were getting goals because they weren't getting them how they wanted to. So, just watching the score on this game was crazy because I think at halftime it was like 60-something. Brisbane was behind.
Brisbane had 33 at halftime. And Gold Coast, I think, had like 62 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was whatever they talked about at halftime, bro. This is the difference between good teams and teams that have good games, bro. Brisbane was playing. They weren't playing bad the first half. It was kind of unorganized for them, at least. But they weren't playing bad. But at halftime, they really sat down, got their shit together, and then came out strong and really took Gold Coast out the game that second half. So Brisbane looking like a tough team. If they can play like second half the rest of the year, they're definitely a finals contender, or grand finals contender.
Yeah, just to back up what you said, it was interesting. Like we were live watching
Your game,
the Carlton North game,
and then my shit after that.
Yep, West Coast Saints.
Yeah.
Yep. So we seen the lower third, and we seen not West Coast. Gold Coast was really whooping Brisbane ass, which is surprising. And I don't know if it's just because most of the games they got held at Metricon, so Gold Coast been feeling good, but Brisbane really came out how they did against Richmond early on, looking trash, to be honest. And they kind of continued that trend early on, and Gold Coast kept strong pressure really through the whole first half. But Brisbane kind of picked up the game a little bit as it kept going on. The first quarter was probably their worst quarter. But Gold Coast, really, bro, they had one goal the whole second half, bro. It was just awful, bro. The whole game is summed up by the number 27 out of fullback trying to handball it from fullback. The umpire tells him he can't do that, so he receives the handball back, kicks it out of fullback into a crowd, like right inside the 50 still. And that's the argument that when Charlie Cameron and Danaher were arguing over the goal, that he said they didn't get it how they wanted it to. But they still got the goal, so they gave Brisbane the opportunity to be picky. Danaher had a great game. He turned up. I've been asking for it. Like in recent weeks, I've been asking for it. I've been asking for most of the forwards or all the forwards really be able to be on the same page and turn up. Charlie Cameron, I think, has been the first one to really try and prove me. He's been turning up in recent weeks, so it's good to see them two get on the same page, especially with Hipwood out, and McCarthy really turned up a little bit too. But yeah, like Brisbane they had 4 goals, 9 behinds for 33 points at halftime, and they finished with 17 goals, 18 behinds at halftime. So they scored 13 goals in the second half and 9 behinds, while Gold Coast is scoring 1 goal. That's not the recipe for anything. Like Gold Coast looks good at times. They just don't. They're looking like the North, bro. Of like 8 weeks ago.
But goddamn, Gold Coast, they just really gave up in that second half, bro.
And I do commend them somewhat because they had some of the forwards gone, but well, not forwards, but just some of their best players overall. But if you get yourself to a point where you're whooping their ass, you can sustain that. There's really no excuse. If you can get there, you can keep it there. It's just up to you to sustain it. And they didn't do that at all.
So next game we have West Coast versus Saints.
All right, I'll go first so I can go ahead and get your spiel out. So this was a battle that was pretty important for ladder position. St. Kilda definitely needed this win as far as to be able to at least get some leverage on the other teams because they're on the outside looking in at the 8th. But they failed to do so. It was a good game though. I think West Coast they definitely had to win this game due to the result of the last time that they played. Tim Kelly, he showed up this game, bro. Tim Kelly, he hasn't played like this I don't think I've ever seen him play like this yet. Maybe earlier in the season, but he's definitely tried to hit a switch this week, and he definitely did. I think particularly in the second quarter. I think if I'm not mistaken, he really jetted out of the midfield and looked different after the clearance. So definitely good to see that. I think it was a close contest, really mostly throughout the whole game. West Coast looked dominant in the second quarter. But I think at the end of the game, it really came down to the Saints blowing opportunities. They had a couple opportunities because Max King definitely was able to help put them in an opportunity to win the game. But he did what he could in the contested marks. But like I said, the dude who missed the shot, it hit the umpire. Terrible as fuck. Like, he smoked that opportunity. There was Billings who missed the goal. When it comes down to it, you have to be efficient. They were decent, but they had to be more efficient. I think this game might have been a blow to their final chances. They definitely should have took this game away to that.
So West Coast Eagles out there every day, you know that. But it's about time, bro. I don't think we had a win since week 14, bro. Against Richmond was our last win.
Damn.
And I was really worried about this game coming in. This was definitely, I feel like our season was on the line with this game. The way we've been losing, we really just been dropping further and further down the ladder. And actually, we haven't even been dropping because we've been around the same spot, but my hope has been dropping for us this season. And with this win, although it wasn't convincing, I'm a little more comfortable with a chance at the finals, but our play style still, it just isn't there yet. The way we moved the ball down the field, it wasn't West Coast like. I feel like we won more off their mistakes than just off how we usually play. So I don't think that will fly with any team that is more put together than the Saints, but we definitely need to just win for pride, for just to get us back inspired, you know what I'm saying? And Max King wanted to have his best fucking game against us, bro. That shit was ridiculous. Like, I don't know what was going on with our defense, bro. Max King was eating on us. McGovern just bouncing the ball to the Saints for them to score. It was just, our defense is looking bad. I'm glad we got this win, but it wasn't a good win. We needed it, so glad we got it, but we need to play better for sure. Next game, we got Melbourne versus the Dogs.
Rematch. No fans. Yeah, so this was a rematch from the first time. The first time they played, Melbourne got the edge. There were no fans that game. There's also no fans this game. So that was kind of unfortunate. I know the footy world I know there's a lot of people who wanted to see that. Shout out to Jack McRae for the youngest player to reach 5,000 disposals ever in footy. So big shout out to him. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league, especially since he's part of a great midfield. So hopefully he gets his flowers, man. Early on in the first half, it was kind of slow due to the conditions. It was definitely like a rainy game. Seems fun, but I don't know if that was the most favorable conditions for each player. I think it specifically affected Melbourne more than it affected the Dogs. In the second half, it lightened up a little bit, and that's when we seen most of the action, in my opinion. Melbourne really was dominating the contested possession early in the third quarter, but I think this game came down to work rate, and I think the Dogs worked a little bit harder. I think they wanted this. They wanted a rematch. The last time they played, it was definitely a disappointing performance, in my opinion, and I think even more so in their opinion, because they were the ones who served that shit up. Tim English, I think, did a great job of kind of neutralizing Max Gawn. Max Gawn had an impact, but I don't think he had as great as an impact that he needed to have, especially in a game where it's two of the top three sides. So yeah, Dogs pretty much held their own in every aspect of the game. So salute to them. Melbourne definitely needs to start playing a little bit better. They've been getting exposed, in my opinion, the last couple weeks, and I think the Hawks did that shit, bro. I think the Hawks fuck around and showed some teams just how to beat Melbourne, how to make them look weak, how to beat that pressure that defense. So, yeah, you got the rest of me.
So, going into this game, man, it was really. So I've learned when it's raining, that's when the best players come out, and at first, it was really Bont versus Petrarca. Bont had the first goal. Petrarca answered him a few minutes later. I really like that matchup. I think that's gonna be that's gonna be a Brownlow discussion. Him with Ali Wines. But as far as the rest of the game, I said before the game, whoever got in front first was gonna be the ones to win it. The Dogs did that, and they just stuck ahead. Dogs know how to maintain the lead. They just really know how to maintain, even if they fall behind. They're never too far behind, but they definitely know how to stay ahead when they get ahead. And Melbourne they didn't come together like that, like they usually do, or like they need to do to win against the Dogs. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the mark. So Waitman, Cody Waitman, bro. Max gone, great mark target, great person to try to get a specky on damn near 7 feet. You're gonna look great catching anything off his back. And Waitman did it. A great specky, climbed on top of him, sat on his shoulder for a little bit, came down with the mark. Yeah, that definitely in the top 5 plays this week.
Scored the goal like a minute later too.
He did. I wish it was quicker progression, but they worked for the ball, but he ended up getting the point afterwards. So yeah, he really turned up in that minute of footy.
Mm-hmm. I also want to commend Clayton Oliver. He just seems like he's at every contest, bro, every game, bro. So honestly, bro, that's one player that I do kind of want to be like as far as just work rate, because there's not in one contest that he's not either running to or involved in, bro. So definitely shout out to him. Also, speaking on the topic of Waitman, I think that was that game where he really kind of came out. Was it against Melbourne last time too? I know you remember for sure. He missed the goal, bro, but he did some sauce ass like fake and then tried to snap it but missed the goal.
Was that Melbourne?
It was for sure. Now what I'm talking about is when he had that smother and shit. Remember when he did like the smother and the hustle play when we first found out about, bro?
I don't know who that was against. I remember. Yeah.
I know the fake for sure was Melbourne. So he like, I think, hey, next year we need to watch Waitman versus Melbourne again. I think he like fucking them boys up.
All right, next game we got Adelaide Crows versus the Hawks. All right, man. So Hawks, y'all looking like the number 18 team. Y'all looking like the wooden spoon holders. I wouldn't say this was a bad game, but y'all are both bad teams. Actually, I would say this is a bad game. I'm not even gonna lie. I really don't know what to say about this game, bro. Go ahead.
So this game, there are two bad teams. I did kind of enjoy this game though, not gonna lie, because they didn't play as we both know how shit both teams are and can be, and neither of them really played to that level, so I can at least be appreciative of both teams for that. To start off the game, Adelaide started off pretty efficient, and we know they have the potential, as we seen in that one game that they had earlier in the year where they had a lot of shots on goal and didn't have any behinds, even though they had missed on the full, but they were efficient inside 50, so we know that Adelaide is at least worth that, particularly when Tex gets going, and he did that. Hawthorn were kind of struggling early. They were able to get 2 quick goals. Well, not quick goals, but they were able to get their 2 goals, their 2 first goals off stoppages inside the 50. So they weren't really able to do much, but that's how they got their bread and butter, and they did that for a second. But as the game went on, the efficiency that I'm talking about from Adelaide, it just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped, and Hawthorn just got better and better and better. So they kind of were on like an opposite relationship. But the problem was, it was a good game, bro. Like, it was the whole game, it was pretty decent. But the problem was that Hawthorn gave up too many inside 50s, bro. And that was the problem. Like, they were more efficient, but when you give up too many, it's just going to bite you in the ass. And the good defense, it wasn't there. And that's what you needed to do, bro. You got to at least stop Tex, because Stillthorpe wasn't really talking about shit like that. So Texas, the one man that's fucking you up, you got to be able to stop that. But Schoenberg did show up. I think he was a Rising Stars nominee this week. So Adelaide, you did what you need to do to avoid wooden spoon contention. I guess that's what this game was on this 2 bottom 4 side.
Pretty much. The most I remember from this game was Wingard, bro. Wingard was really trying to turn up. He was snapping on.
Yeah.
Who was it? Young, bro.
Kajiski.
Yeah, because Kajiski kept on bringing. Wingard was trying to turn up. He was trying to hit somebody with some finesse, with some sauce, and Kajiski. Bro kept on bringing his man over to him, so Wingard wasn't fucking with that. He tried to put the game on his back. He tried to put the Hawks on his back, but it just wasn't good enough.
You needed more from Bruce. I think Bruce had. I don't think he had two. I know he had one. I don't think he had more than one though, did he? Not the one that was. Yeah, not too many Hawks players stood out like that.
I don't know. This game was real clumsy for me. I ain't really like this game, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just fortunate it wasn't a blowout, man. Which is be hard sometimes. Speaking of,
next game we got Sydney versus Frio. Love when Frio lose, bro. They're back on their regular scheduled program. But Sydney, they looking straight, man. Sydney, Buddy's looking like he's going to have his chance to get his 1,000 goals. Buddy's looking like he's going to get his chance to get 1,000 goals. Even though, bro, elbowed somebody in the face this game. For some reason, superstar caliber players get away with doing the most crazy shit. He really had no reason to get away with it. It definitely should have been at least a game out because it was straight to the face. No, you can't really argue what he fucking did, but
right.
Just $3,000 fine and he's going to be playing the next game. Other than that, man, Sydney, they looking like a good team. They looking like they want to be in the finals, like they want to win. Isaac Heaney turning up. Their whole chemistry. Sydney's might be a team that a lot of people sleep on, but I see them having a chance at making it pretty far in the finals.
Yeah, I think Sydney played pretty good. I think first quarter and a half, Frio looked real good, actually. They had decent ball movement. They were moving the ball. This was David Mundy's 350th game, so shout out to him for that. Yeah, they looked good early. Tappner had some leads toward the goal, and Sydney kind of were looking not as confident as they had been in recent weeks. Because, but one thing about Sydney that we've learned in the last couple of weeks, they're going to work hard, they're going to play hard. They're not the best clearance team or the best, team, really the most physical team, but they're the team that has a pretty good, decent ball movement, especially when they get going. So they have that to rely on, and it's really been carrying them. Frio really kind of fell off, bro. David Mundy played decent, but at the end of the day, so Fife's shoulder got fucked up. That was a turning point. And Walters pulled a hamstring too, or something. It was all like kind of in a close time frame, so that didn't bode well for them. But I also don't think they were ready for a hot Sydney team. Like you said, Isaac Heaney turned up. He had 5 games. He had timely marks, and really the game turned around when he did have that mark inside the 50. When Frio did the dumb mistake trying to kick it to fullback, whatever they did. And really from that, honestly, that was the turning point, and they started turning up. And as the game went on, Frio just really was looking mentally checked out. They weren't ready. They didn't have the fight in them towards the end of the game. And Sydney didn't play their best brand at all. Buddy had a couple moments, but Packley didn't do as much as we've seen in the recent weeks either. So City definitely has a lot more potential. This isn't their ceiling at all, and I'm very interested in seeing what they got.
All right. Next game, we got Geelong versus Richmond. Another finals rematch. Part 2.
Grand
finals rematch. Facts. And if Geelong did this in the grand finals last year, I'm sure they would have been happy, but they did not. But today they did. Well, this round they did. And Richmond really, I'm not gonna say they didn't play good. They had spurts. They definitely had moments where they looked like a great team. Like most of the time when Richmond's playing and they're kind of falling behind, you can tell them putting it into that different gear, and they really start to turn up on the team. And you could see them try to do that a lot of times this game, but Geelong just wasn't going for it. They had an answer every time, and boys was really just looking good. Dangerfield turned doing his thing. Tom Hawkins, they core players is just really standing out. They looking like they're ready for this finals run. And two, Richmond, I don't know, bro. I don't think y'all gonna make the 8. Man. It was nice knowing y'all boys, especially with no Dusty. Yeah, them boys might be out of there.
I already wrote them off, man. This was a good game for Geelong. Geelong continue to form that they're on, bro. It's just their defense looks great. I think they do a good job of covering each other defensively. One person goes to cover one person, the other midfield pushes up, and it's just a chain reaction, and that's how they're able to be set so well. I think they're probably the most well-balanced team right now. And right now, I don't see any weakness in their game. Just like Melbourne has the clearance issues or whatever. But Geelong is really just at least number 2, number 3. They're top 5 in almost every category statistically. So it's up to somebody to really find a way to expose them, right? And they were early in the season. I didn't know that they were capable of this. So it is kind of surprising to see. Radaglia turned up as if he's full forward. I don't think he got any minutes in the ruck, to be honest. So he's been straightforward, and he's been turning up this week specifically. So that's what's up, man. I kind of thought he was sorry, but look, this is the week that everybody shows Khalil who's right. I mean, who's good and who's not. Yeah, bro. I think Geelong deprives you of your opportunity, bro. Like they take possession of the ball, and I say it every week, bro. They have the ball, they do what they want with it. They don't fall to what you get, what they let you have. They take what they want. And Richmond, like you said, they did have their spurts sometimes, and sometimes when they did want to, it just looked sloppy at times, especially going through the corridor. Sometimes they had a couple missed handballs, or they ended up with possession, but it took them way longer than they needed to. It wasn't efficient as it could have been. Yeah, so it was disappointing, bro. It was disappointing for Richmond. I know. Matter of fact, at one point, I think Tom Lynch didn't get the ball for a long ass time, bro. I think it was like a whole quarter and a half or some shit. They didn't even touch the ball, bro, because the Geelong was set up so well defensively, bro. So the boys looking good, man. I ain't gonna lie.
For sure. All right, last game of the round, we got Essendon versus Giants. This was another game this is probably the most important game as for ladder position. Both these teams are, I think, 8 and 9. Were 8 and 9 before this game, so it was definitely a spot. Like, you're fighting for that final spot, and Essendon really just. It was a good game. This was a good game all the way through. Essendon kind of came out hot during the start of the game, but GWS kind of slowly crept back in it. Mind you, GWS is missing a lot of their key players with COVID or the COVID situation. I guess they're still they're just quarantining for a few days.
Yeah, it's that lockdown that got them fucked up.
Yeah, so this isn't even a full power GWS. I actually was writing them off, but the rest of the team really came together and they wanted to win this. For me, I usually say no Toby Green, no GWS, but they really did it this game. I think they have Buddy Hill because he just had a baby born or some shit like that. So they were definitely down a lot of important players. And Essendon, I mean, they had all their players they usually had this year. So Nick Cox turned up, though. I don't think Parrish played.
Parrish played. They didn't. McGrath didn't play, did he? Parrish just got tagged. That boy didn't look as good. That was the problem. That boy Lucky Ash tightened that boy up. No cap.
Facts, but yeah. Good win for GWS, bro. They just won anymore, man.
Yeah. It was a good game, bro. It it was never really out of reach for either team. They were trading goals at some point during the game. I think it looked nice. Essendon looked nice in the beginning, but I think their skills kind of fell off towards the end of the game. Well, just in the second half in general. Lockie Whitfield really turned up, bro. I didn't even know this man had like 35 disposals, bro. So that's kind of incredible. I kind of was waiting for him in the beginning of the season when he had a kidney injury. They would say that he's one of the better players, So I wanted to see what he had. I asked for it, he fucked us up, and he just continued to really just go ham since then, bro. Essendon tried to make a comeback. They really couldn't. They just couldn't put a dent. Anytime they did score, GWS was there to answer a score, bro. They kind of just gave him a little leeway, but roped him in anytime that they were feeling confident. Archie Perkins had a couple nice moments early in the beginning of the game. But yeah, I think Darcy Parrish getting tagged, that was pretty important. Lockie S did a nice job, and even I think he scored one goal. If he had more than one, I missed it. But anytime you're tagging one of the hottest players, hottest midfielders in the league, one of the Brownlow contenders, and you're scoring goals while doing that, you're doing a good job. You're working hard. So nothing out of character for GWS. If that's what your players are doing, so salute to you. I think Stringer had a nice goal. He didn't have that game-changing ability that he had in recent weeks. Let's have one more thing. Jesse Hogan's goal. He kicked that shit over his fucking head or some shit, bro. He did some crazy ass shit at the stoppage.
So yeah, Jesse Hogan definitely turned up. Just being really one of the young players, I really fuck with Jesse Hogan. Also, Himmelberg had a good game in this game too. GWS, all they fallback players really stood up this game. So yeah, good. I said good win for them boys.
Definitely disappointing second half for Essendon, bro. Like that's not. Do teams forget that they're fighting for finals on the field or what? I don't understand it, bro. Yeah, I did have one thing to say that I missed. What was it, bro? Oh yeah, so the Dogs and the Demons game. The Dogs, salute to the Dogs because they did it without Alex Keith. He got injured. He's definitely their best backline player that they have. And if you can shut down Harry, you can shut down all these players like your top forwards week in, week out, and you hold them below their numbers. You're a great player, and they did it without him. So definitely salute to the Dogs for that. Melbourne also, I looked up their last in accuracy in the last 6 weeks, but their third shots on goal. That's bad, bro. That's bad, bro.
Their accuracy is ass like that, bro.
In the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And third. So you're getting the shots, you're just missing them bitches. I want to keep my eyes on them boys, man.
Alright, let's get into these questions, bro. So, grand final winners. Grand final participants, I should say.
Alright. For my grand finalists, I got Geelong v. the Dogs.
Wow, what a coincidence. I also have Dogs versus Geelong.
Melbourne fell off the map?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Fell off, yeah, bro. I almost put Sydney and Geelong, bro.
If they get home field, home ground advantage, I would consider it. But if they don't get top four, it's not going to happen, in my opinion, bro.
Yeah, Dogs and Geelong. So, okay, we both got them winning. I mean, both got the same teams going. Who you got winning?
I have Geelong winning. I know you got the Dogs.
Yes, this is where we go our separate ways.
Geelong, man.
Why you think they winning over the Dogs?
Like I said, bro, I just don't think they have any weakness right now, bro. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, their back line's playing straight, their defense playing straight, like their midfield's playing straight, and they don't have, bro. If they don't have Cameron, and even when they when they don't have Cameron, they're still covering that with Radagulier's pretty much taking his spot. Yeah. And even when he was out, and you had Rowan, Radiculier still was playing straight. So it's like, bro. Is it going to take another injury to take them out, or what is it? Because even Dangerfield can push forward, bro. So I don't know how you beat these niggas.
They do have a lot of forward options.
They're versatile.
As fuck. And I do think their team is more complete than the Dogs, but I just see the Dogs wanting it more. They got a lot younger team. I think they're going to be able to outrun Geelong. And I really think it's going to come down a lot down to just the speed of the Dogs players versus Geelong. The midfield, I think the Dogs have got the midfield. It's just Geelong's forwards, yeah, they're definitely a problem, but if they're able to just slow them down a little bit, if they're able to keep the ball around the midfield, I think the Dogs are going to come out on top for sure.
Yeah. Let me see how long Alex Keith is out, man. Like 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so yeah. In order to beat Geelong, they're gonna need Alex Keith, but also that's the thing. Chalor comes back 1 to 2 weeks. That's another great player too. So it'll be, that would be good, man. Chalor's a great ass wing.
So, who you got winning Brownlow?
I got the Bont, man. Okay, I got the Bont. Got the Bont?
I do have Bont winning, bro. I was trying to pick somebody else, but Bont has probably been one of the most consistent players. I also almost put Petrarca up there. He's definitely did his thing all year with no really great spots. Just, a decent play all the way around, but
You like Petrarca over Oliver? They're going to take votes from each other, though. They're going to take away votes from each other.
I like Clayton Oliver a lot, too, just because his hustle, but I think Petrarca adds more to the team right now, at least.
See. Yeah, we split on this video on a couple things, man. My opinion on Clayton Oliver, I think Clayton Oliver is more impactful. I just think Petrarca is more timely. Petrarca has more of a clutch moment, I guess. He knows when it's time to do the shit and when the team needs him to pick him up, to pick up the team. Whereas I think Oliver's really gonna play the same way the whole game. I don't know if he has a different level where I think Petrarca does. That's kind of just what I believe with them too.
Yeah, that's why I got Petrarca above Oliver, pretty much.
So, okay. And Bont was up there. I was considering. Well, I said Bont, I'm tripping. Ollie Wines. The media had to teach me about Ollie Wines. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Because there's so many players that you have to watch out for Port, bro. And I feel like in footy it's so easy to show love to the forwards. And it's so easy to forget what the midfield players are doing. So, Ollie Wines been getting a lot of love. I think he's one of the more under the radar players. He's not one of the mainstream players. You get what I'm saying? Like, he gets brought up, but they don't talk about him like Bont and Petrarca and all the superstar players. He's kind of like a Kawhi Leonard. It kind of seems like.
It's probably just because he plays for Port, bro.
Probably. It's not a Victorian team.
Yeah.
Wow, that speaks volume.
All right, who you got winning Coleman?
Callum.
I got Tom Hawkins winning this.
Hell
bro.
nah.
I think Tom Hawkins gonna creep up on him, bro.
You know, if he creeps up on him, they gonna win the final. I mean, the grand final.
Nah, bro, he gonna. Coleman gets decided before that, bro.
Hell nah. If Harry, I say Harry, but I say that with a grain of salt because it depends on if he's gonna keep on playing, bro. Like it, because he's a test for this week. Is he gonna play? Is he not? How many games is he missing the rest of the season? I think per game his average is the most amongst the top 5. But if you don't play, you can't get goals. So I will say I think Harry. If Harry doesn't win, Hawkins is 3rd right now.
Yeah.
I'll probably look back Hawkins over Tex though. I'll back Hawkins up. Rewald might be a little quiet.
I was thinking Rewald too.
He might be a little quiet one.
But I go Tom Hawkins because Geelong can run their whole offense through Hawkins. he has great vision, and he has a great kick, great boot. He can kick it from outside the 50, especially if he's in his little, pocket where he likes to kick it from right outside the line. And he has plenty of options, so just defending against Geelong is tough. They basically space the floor, is what they do. And with Carlton, I think Makai's gonna drop off a little bit from his goals that he's been getting when Curnow comes back. If he comes back,
hopefully.
If Curnow comes back and he has a good impact on the game, like I think a lot of people are expecting him to have, I think that's going to take away from Harry's Coleman race right now. And it's just going to be an adjustment period in these last 3 games when Hawkins is somebody that Geelong can trust to run the offense through. So, yeah.
It is interesting, bro, especially with Carlton not knowing what's going on with them and the whole review, and they say players are getting dropped and AD's hurt. And there's just a bunch of who knows what going on around that Coleman.
All right, so that's one. Who winning the Norm Smith, bro?
Norm Smith. I'm gonna have to go with that boy Joe Selwood, man. I think that boy gonna get it done, man. I know when Geelong's running well and the midfield's running well, Selwood's in the middle of that, man. I think when it comes down to it, experience is what matters. When you've been there, done that, when you've seen success, you've been the captain, you've been there before, man. You know how to play the game. You're the one who pretty much invented the ducking for the freeze or whatever, or you know what I'm saying? Like you patented it, I guess, if you will, if you don't mind. He just knows how to do it, bro. He just natural footballer, if you will. He knows how to play the game, bro. And I think he knows how to do it, bro. I think he'll get it done. I can back the confidence and experience.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go with Bont once again, bro. I was trying to avoid it, bro, but Bont is just one of those players that comes out and he knows his role, he knows where to be, he knows how to get to where he needs to be and move the ball where it needs to be. Like his value on the field is something that the Dogs are gonna need to win the grand finals, and I expect him to show up in the grand finals. That's pretty much it, man. Bont, boy, that nigga up there.
So, let me ask you a question. When Dunkley come back and Treloar come back, you think that'll bring down his possessions or performance at all?
I really think that's just gonna open him up for him to be able to do more.
That's funny because when you said the Curnow shit, that's what I thought about Harry. He's not like the main target, so niggas now gotta worry about him. Now everybody can't gang up on Harry.
I was thinking that, but
there's always either way, bro. You never know till it happens, bro.
It will be interesting. I just think Devon has more vision, more experience to take advantage of better players around him, more so than Harry. Yeah, so, and Boston in the midfield, right? I feel like the better players you have in the midfield, the easier they can run around, and the more they can just open shit up. So, yeah, I got Bont doing this shit.
We shall revisit this video in a month and a half's time, if you don't mind.
Yeah, but I think this bitch already long, so we gonna go ahead and end this bitch right here, man. Appreciate everybody, but we out there, man. Yeah.